In this video, you will learn the 4 things a man needs to fall deeply in love with you. These tips are based on solid psychological science, and they are the things that you can start using immediately to encourage the guy you're dating to fall in love with you. Don't go anywhere because we're starting right now. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Antonio Borrello, and I'm a psychologist and a relationship coach. This channel is all about helping you build great relationships so you can grow happy with the people you love. So if you're interested in making your love life the best part of your life, start now by clicking the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you aren't missing anything. Okay, the 4 tips that you can use to make a man fall deeply in love with you. First, I have to say this. There's no such thing as a magic potion. There are no tricks or tactics that will absolutely make another person fall in love with you. If anyone tells you there are, you should hold on to your wallet and run away from them. But having said that, there are many things that can increase the chances that the person you want falls in love with you. These tips are focused on nurturing 9 of the 12 precursors to falling in love that have been delineated by researchers in a variety of disciplines over the past 30 years. In other words, as much as I wish I could take credit for them, these aren't Antonio's ideas of how to fall in love. This is science. By the way, I'm going to list those 12 precursors in the description below, and I'll tell you which of the 12 precursors are being triggered in each of the 5 tips that I share. And for obvious reasons, these tips do not include the 3 precursors that have to do with him, including his readiness for a loving relationship or specific physical cues that are relevant in producing his attraction, like the shape of your eyes or your eye color, and 3, his attraction to your appearance. Instead, these are tips that are concerned with things that are in your control. Now, these are things that you should be doing in the beginning when you first meet or start dating a person, but they are also things that can help you to get the spark back in your existing relationship. Oh, and I'm saving the best one for last because it's the most important one and it makes all the others work so much better. So without further ado, here's number 1. Number 1, don't be afraid to disagree with him, and that triggers the precursors arousal and personality and mysteriousness. Conflict is a natural part of any relationship, but how you handle those disagreements can either make him more attracted to you or it can make you lose value in his eyes and become less attractive. How both of you behave now when you have a disagreement also says a lot about how you will or won't resolve problems in the future. And I'm not saying that fighting or arguing a lot is a good thing, but disagreeing and arguing is a sign that you both have your own opinions and are strong enough to stick to them. Learning to disagree and even make real compromises is a win-win situation for both of you, and as a result increases feelings of closeness and emotional intimacy, which leads to deeper feelings of love. And that's a good thing. Now, let me give you an example of what happens when you're always agreeable. I often talk to people who are in new relationships, maybe 3 to 4 months along, and they tell me how wonderful everything is. And they tell me that they spend so much time together or that they're together every day. Okay, so far so good. But when they also add that they've never had a disagreement or an argument, that's when I become concerned. Why do you think that is? Well, let me explain. People begin their relationships with the best of intentions. They want to be the best girlfriend or boyfriend possible because they really want the other person and they really want to be wanted. So they make themselves into the woman or man that they think will be most impressive to their new partner and win their heart. So essentially they're acting on their best behavior because they really want the relationship to work. They want the other person to want them. And they justify their behavior by insisting that they're being unselfish and honorable. But in reality, they are rationalizing their behavior because they're not secure enough to really be themselves. And people overestimate their ability to maintain their facade, and within 6 or 9 or maybe 12 months, they begin to tire of being perfect or enjoying what their partner had come to expect because engaging in this kind of behavior is incredibly stressful. So yeah, if you've been dating a person for 3 or 6 months and you've never disagreed or argued, ask yourself why. Is one of you not really being honest with yourself? Are you going along with everything your partner wants? Like watching hockey every night or going fishing and hunting every weekend, despite the fact that you truly have no interest? If there are no arguments at all, it could be a sign that somebody is hiding something, hiding their feelings, or just not being honest about what they really think. Being agreeable may feel like you are keeping the peace, But this will not work in the long run. It eventually causes feelings of resentment and depression or anger towards the partner and towards yourself. And more importantly, it's not attractive. A man wants a partner, not a person that doesn't have an opinion or a backbone. Number 2, be a person he can trust. And that triggers reciprocal liking, familiarity, similarity, social influence, filling needs, and isolation. If you want a man to fall deeply in love with you, you have to be a person that he can trust. And when I say trust, I'm talking about the 3 types of trust necessary for deep love and a healthy relationship. The first and most obvious type of trust has to do with fidelity or loyalty, meaning you both have agreed that your partner has your love, affection, and commitment over other potential partners. It's trusting that your partner is sexually and romantically exclusive with you. So, what does that look like? Well, if you trust each other, you respect the fact that each of you have a life outside of the relationship and you don't try to interfere or replace that life. Trust means that you are not fearful of the other person cheating on you, regardless of circumstances. The second type of trust is believing that your partner has good intentions. In other words, you believe what they say and believe that they have your best intentions in mind, even when you disagree or you're disappointed. You truly feel like your partner is on your team, and you never have the feeling that their actions were done to betray you. The third type of trust, you trust one another with your feelings and with your heart. Trust is built through a series of actions that show another person that one can be trusted. For example, you call when you say you're going to. You listen and you empathize with your partner. You support and encourage your partner through a difficult time. And through this mutual trust in one another, you feel safe in the relationship physically and emotionally. Trusting someone with your heart and your feelings means that you can be vulnerable without fear of any negative consequences. And this is huge because when you are not afraid of being vulnerable in conversation, there's a willingness to really open up your hearts and share what you're really thinking, even if it puts you at risk for ridicule and being criticized. That's trust, that's emotional intimacy, and that's the foundation of deep love. Number 3, exude confidence by overcoming your fear of rejection. And that triggers mysteriousness, reciprocal liking, personality, and social influence. As we've talked about in other videos, confidence in both men and women is very sexy and it draws people to you. Confidence creates an aura that draws people in. It shows people that you're comfortable with yourself, which grants you a certain poise and charm or assertiveness. And confident people have a certain air about them that makes you want to get to know them. You want to know what makes them so self-assured. Confident people seem to know what they want and they're not afraid to ask for it or to go after it, nor are they afraid to express themselves. And while confidence is an almost universally attractive trait, its opposite, insecurity, is almost universally unattractive. And unfortunately, insecurity or rejection sensitivity is often most noticeable when you're dating a person and you fear that they may leave you. This rejection sensitivity can manifest itself in so many ways and really hurt your relationship. For example, people who have a fear of rejection or rejection sensitivity are quick to assume that when their partner engages in mildly inconsiderate behavior, they assume it reflects something deeper and more personal, like a lack of love or commitment. And this leads to conflict that is likely to escalate and the couple having more negative experiences. If you fear that your relationship is going to end, you are not likely to behave in ways that exude confidence. You act in ways that appear insecure and sabotage your relationship. So the most important thing is to overcome your fear of being rejected. Overcome your fear of the relationship ending. And how do you do that? Overcoming your fear of rejection is a gradual process that begins with rejecting the self-fulfilling prophecy. You need to reject the belief that others will always reject you, because when you hold on to it, you create situations for it to occur. Unconsciously, you'll do things that will push people away, and then you'll use that rejection as more evidence. Instead, you need to end the self-fulfilling prophecy by deliberately looking for signs of acceptance, maybe even writing them down if you need to. No particular rejection is the end of the world for you. You can survive the end of a relationship, or a job that doesn't work out, or a friendship that no longer fits. It might be painful, but you will survive and you can become stronger as a result. Number 4, keep your standards high. And that triggers arousal and personality and social influence and filling needs and mysteriousness. Remember, it's your values and expectations that sets the bar for your relationship. It sets your standards of what you expect and sets the bar for love. The way we love and value ourselves sets up the way in which we let other people love and value us, or not. The problem that so many people have, when they meet someone they really like, they're often willing to compromise their standards in the early stages of dating. And when you do that, you're setting low parameters for him. Look, I know it can be difficult to keep your standards high when you really like a person. It's like everything goes right out the window. But when you compromise your standards, you're always going to get less than you need and less than you deserve. You're setting the bar low, and you're setting the parameters low, and you're letting him know it's okay to treat you poorly and you'll still be right there. And when he knows that, then you lose value in his eyes and he begins to believe that you aren't going anywhere. When he knows you're sticking around despite his bad behavior, then he has no fear of losing you. Then he knows that you're head over heels and obsessed with him. He knows that you absolutely need him and you're terrified of losing him. And he knows that you would never leave. And when you reach that point, then half of his motivation and half of his drive and half of his attraction is gone, and he no longer has to try so hard. He no longer has to work on securing your love and attention, and he doesn't have to worry that you'll leave. So he stops trying, and the love he felt for you diminishes. And as a result, he takes you for granted. He underappreciates you, and he no longer works hard on making the relationship great. And that's when you need to gently remind him of your value in his life and that your love for him is not unconditional. He needs to know that your relationship and your loyalty also depends on how he treats you, just as it did in the beginning. He needs to be a little bit worried about losing you, but he will only experience this if he knows that you are willing and able to walk away from something that isn't right for you. So, how do you make a man worry about losing you? Well, click here to watch a video that will tell you exactly what to do, or click here to watch the video that YouTube thinks that you'll like. And please leave a comment and let me know the topics that you'd like to see me address in future videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.